Warning, this program is entirely fictional and made by a sole Canadian man. All characters and events in the show, including the host, even those that are based on real people, are entirely fictional. The following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
America. The land of opportunity. Fueled by immigration and innovation, with just a touch of authoritarian despotism. Here in these glorious United States, there exists a vast criminal underworld stretching from sea to shining sea. And if you look closely at our utopian American settlements, you may just find the stain of criminal activity in more places than you ever thought possible. Tonight, on Grand Theft Auto Geographies. Industry, murder, and dog food involving murder. Tonight we will examine a district of Liberty City which many often overlook. A relatively small but impactful region of Portland Island, which has served as the hub to mafia-connected mechanics and a refuge for some of the most horrific murders committed in Liberty City history. A neighborhood so dominated by the whir of metal on metal and the grinding of the commercial gears that many have forgotten its bloody history, but whose influence on the rest of the city and importance to its continued existence have kept it relevant throughout the decades. Trenton. Being incredibly close to both the Portland Harbor and the docks in Atlantic Key, Trenton serves as both Portland's, and to a larger extent, much of Liberty City's industrial heart, and is primarily characterized by the presence of many commercial and industrial businesses who import raw materials from the districts nearby for manufacturing or distribution. It is also home to one of the city's cab depots and the city's primary bus terminal for arrivals from out of state. The district itself is quite small and consists of two primary avenues which cross and loop around the district's southern edge, and two closed-off blocks containing many of the area's businesses near the district's northern edge. Despite its size, Trenton is one of the most integral areas of Portland, connecting to many other districts due to its central placement on the island. Due to having mostly low density and single-story buildings, the skyline of Trenton from all angles is dominated by views from other areas of the city, with much of Staunton visible beyond Callahan Bridge to the west, much of Portland View visible to the north thanks to the open park, and the taller warehouses and cranes of the city's harbor district visible to the east. It also features some greenery scattered around the area along the waterline and the district's border with Portland View, which is to the north, with Portland Harbor to the east, Atlantic Key to the south, and Callahan Point, Bridge, and Chinatown all to the west. While many assume the history of Trenton to be mundane, being a rather simplistic industrial zone, the reality could not be further from the truth. Trenton over the years has borne witness to some of the most unspeakable crimes committed in the entire history of Portland, and possibly all of Liberty City, with at least one man, possibly more, being butchered to death in the district's lumber mill in 1998, and numerous disappearances eventually uncovered to also be murders taking place just 3 years later at the Bitchin' Dog Food Factory. In '98, Tony Cipriani of the Leone crime family would lure Giovanni Casa to the lumberyard and proceed to chop him up into tiny Italian sausages, which were rumored to have been sold at Casa's own delicatessen in the Chinatown district.
There's loads of meat back here. Tasty.
As if to continue the trend of butchery, in 2001, owner of the local dog food factory, Marty Chonks, would, with the help of the Reaper man known as Claude, lure at least 4 individuals to his factory, where they were then reportedly murdered and chopped up, only to be stuffed into cans of dog food and sold to unsuspecting pet owners across the country.
Stop!
In addition to the horrible butchery that has taken place in the area, it has also served as tertiary mafia territory, due to the presence of Joey Leone, son of Leone family Don Salvatore Leone, and his seemingly legitimate garage, which operated in the district at least as early as 1992. Leone himself would contract the murder of several individuals while operating out of his garage, and also, frequently and illegally, chop up vehicles for further profit, though it is unknown if Joey's presence in the area was entirely independent, or if the Leones actively monitored the district to maintain their territory. The former seems more likely, as in 2000 we were able to confirm that, oddly enough, the Shoreside Vale-based gang, the Southside Hoods, under D-Ice, apparently controlled the area, at least partially, and may have even briefly fought with the Mafia-allied foot soldiers Mike and Vinny, who are speculated to have worked for the Leone family in and around the year 2000. As we've said, Trenton is primarily an industrial neighborhood, and as such, business in the area reflects that. Some of the businesses in the area between 1998 and 2001 are Amco HQ, Bitch and Dog Food, Bolt Burgers, Burke Supply Company, Don Kiddick's Sausage Factory, King Nuts, Joey's Auto Painting, Liberty City Sawmills, Liberty Pharmaceuticals, Mean Street Taxis, Now in Zen Dojo, Trenton Bus Depot. While not packed to the brim with businesses like the Red Light District or Chinatown, Trenton makes up for it with the size and scope of its clientele, with companies such as the international conglomerate Amco even having their HQ in the area, as well as Liberty Pharmaceuticals. Trenton may not be big, but its relevance packs a mean punch. Okay guys, once again breaking character to look at the real-world neighborhood which inspired Trenton, and according to my research and the wonderful GTA wiki, it appears to be Red Hook, Brooklyn, and more specifically the industrial zone of Red Hook. Unlike the real-world counterpart, Trenton features no residential zoning whatsoever, and more closely resembles the parts of Red Hook which are almost exclusively factories and businesses as well. Perhaps due to a lack of time or ability with the scope of the original Liberty City, Trenton's inspiration is one of the more tenuous we've seen so far, with it also possibly taking general inspiration from typical American industrial zones in other major cities, such as Detroit and Cleveland. Also, unlike the real-world Red Hook, Trenton does not feature its own access to the waterways of Liberty City, with the neighboring Portland Harbor also clearly taking some inspiration from Red Hook's Erie Basin, which I think heavily inspired parts of the Portland shoreline. In this way, Trenton is somewhat unique as far as 3D-era Liberty City standards go, with a lot more liberties, pun intended, taken with its placement and purpose on the island, compared to its real-world counterpart. Either way, it serves as the perfect setting for the morbid task of delivering multiple victims to get turned into dog food, or working for the smooth-talking Italian man who loves cars and women. If you enjoyed this video and you aren't already aware, consider checking out my other main series, GTA Biographies, where I examine in-depth characters from the GTA universe from an in-universe perspective, in long-format episodes. These videos take quite a lot of work to produce, so if you enjoy my work, please consider dropping a like, leaving a comment, or sharing the video. It helps a lot more than you might think. If you want to contribute to my channel directly and get some extra goodies in the process, consider joining my Patreon, where you can get access to all the music used in my videos, early access to episodes, and a credit in all future episodes for helping me to keep this channel running. Thanks for watching. I'm Guinness Walker, and I'll see you next time on GTA Geographies.